I'm the Pink Dalmatian scrapbooker, and today I'm going to show you how to do this paper ribbon technique. I saw this card in a magazine recently, and at first I thought that this was either ribbon or even gathered fabric. So when I realized that it was paper, I definitely wanted to do it. So I made this card last weekend, and I wanted to share with you the technique that I came up with on how to do this. So this card is a 5.5 by 4 1/4. So you need a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card, and then you also need a piece of paper that is the same width of your card. So 5.5 inches, and this time I did it by 3. I wouldn't do any less than 3 inches. I also, and this paper, I always do like a darker color, because when you do these ribbons, a little bit might show at the bottom. So I like it to be a little bit darker, not this light where it's going to be so noticeable. So I pick a coordinating color from my ribbon. I call them paper ribbons, sorry. And for my paper strips, I cut them out at 12 inches by 1 inch. So 1 inch, 12-inch strips. And I do 3 of them. So my card is, again, it's 5.5 inches. These are 12. So roughly about double the width that you want to do. And then the other thing I do is I like to ink my edges. I use the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and so I ink the edges. You only need to ink one long strip, one edge of the long strip, and just go through and ink the edge. A little side technique is that I start off the paper and swirl onto it. And that way you don't end up with any of those lines. It looks like the paper came that way. I just like the finished look that it gives you. You don't have to ink it. The other thing I do like about the Tim Holtz one, though, is that when you spray it with water, it doesn't affect the ink. So if you're using something different, you might want to double check that. So then I take my spritz, my water spray, and you're just going to spray the paper. Depending on the thickness of your paper is how much you want to spray it. So you can start off light, and if you don't have enough, if your paper is not kind of cooperating enough, go ahead and spray it. If you overspray it, you can just set it to the side, let it dry a little bit. Now on each end, I do fold over and make a crease on each end, just a little one. It doesn't need to be a lot. And then I start gathering it and just kind of curling it around. Try not to get any creases there. You just want some curls. If it's wanting to crease, your paper's probably not wet enough, and so you can stop, spray it a little bit more, and just work it all the way. And nothing has to be exact, and just do it till you finish the paper. I kind of like to gather it again. And then go through and do all 3 strips, and they don't. You can let them dry just a little bit. Don't let them dry completely, but maybe just dry a little bit. So set those to the side, and you're going to end up with 3 strips that look like this. They can still be a little bit damp. That way you can work with them just a little bit. And you again have your piece of paper that is the width of your card, so 5.5 by 3. And I take my tape runner. Make sure you are paying attention to the order of your strips. So you're working with the bottom strip first. I take my tape runner, and at 1 inch roughly, I'm just going to run a line across. I don't measure it. You can if you want. You want the bottom side of that 1 inch strip. And then this is where those folded edges come in, is it just gives you a good mark. And I just kind of secure one side, go through and do the opposite side, and then just kind of eye the middle roughly. Put that down. Nice thing is you can use the bottom edge of your paper to line up and keep it straight. And I just kind of work my way back up and down on the card. And then I've got my strip looking like that, and you just take the back edge where your tape is and you just start pressing down, only on that back edge. And it's not all going to stick because some of it's going to be overlapped, but just roughly looking something like this. And then you're going to apply your middle strip, run another tape line. This one, don't do it another inch because you need it to overlap. And you would just apply the, hook it again on the side where you want it. And you would do it till you had all three. And once you did all three, it's going to end up looking like this. There's all three strips. You have a good sized piece of paper left up at the top. So I would cut a straight line across. Don't cut right at the top of the gathered piece. You want a little bit of room. I finish it off with a piece of ribbon. And I just, I hot glue that ribbon down, that way it stays down. Try and press this as flat as possible before you do that. Glue your ribbon down. You end up with the finished ribbon section like this. This is what the back looks like. This is why I like using this piece of paper, because then once you apply it to your card, it doesn't show. So it looks like a finished card. On this one, I did some stamping techniques before I actually applied the ribbon section. And I also, this cut is from the Cricut Art Philosophy, the Close to My Heart Cricut Art Philosophy cartridge. And then I finished off with a bow. You can do lots of different things, and I hope that this explained it well enough. You can visit my blog at pinkdalmatianscrapper.blogspot.com.